Alrighty guys, we made it back down to my dad's place. So we're gonna get going on this Sweptline Cummins swap. Let me show you what we got going. So we got that thing all swapped in there, and we noticed on the little shifter arm where the shift cable or the linkage is gonna come off the steering column, we didn't have any detents in there. So let me show you what we found. Pulled the valve body off here. I've got this all tore apart, but that little ball right there is supposed to be in there with a spring behind it. And this is supposed to go on here and rotate around. This, the little rooster comb on that shaft was loose and kind of over time had fallen off. It sits in there like this. And this piece was sagging that way, and it was dropping down far enough that that ball had come out. And I don't know where the spring is. I tried to find it, but couldn't find anything that resembled a spring. So I went and had this welded up, and then got a transgo. I guess it's a pretty common problem for these balls to get bound up in the little links here. Makes them hard to come out of park or hard to go into park. So I've got this little transgo kit that turns it to instead of a ball, it's like a barrel style. So that should fix that. So we're gonna get this all put back together. We've got a filter to go on the bottom. I broke this. I think can get it back in there hopefully. So let's work on this and we'll get it back in the truck and then see where we can get to. All right, we got this rooster comb in there, the seal back in here, a little E-clip. I've got this in first, so hopefully the rod that goes here I think is for the parking pawl, and that's got to come down through here, and another E-clip's got to go on there while it's all in the bottom of the transmission. So that's going to be terrible to do, but I think we're ready to go back in. So let me go. I don't know if I'm going to set you guys up under that transmission or not. I don't think this is a how to install a valve body. I think there's other videos out there. So I'm going to go get this fiddled with and put on the transmission, and I'll let you know where I get to. All right, we got that valve body back in. Got the rod hooked up for the park. Made sure this thing parks. I got the oil pan back on, all cleaned up and ready. Got our levers back on for the shift and the throttle valve. Our next dilemma is going to be this, but I'm hoping it's not too much of a dilemma. The transmission that was in this truck is a 727 base transmission. This one is also that, but here's our factory shift linkage. There's a bracket that goes in the frame that I've got to run outside to the old motor and pull this bracket off with this support and this little link off. And I'm hoping this will just go up in there. And we started tinkering with this the other day, but we didn't have detents on this. So that was kind of confusing us. So we tore it apart, found that ball was kind of gone and the spring was gone. So let me go get this bracket off that other transmission and we'll start fiddling with this. All right, so we've got the bracket mounted in the frame now. This reaction arm's got to sit about here. I've cut the bracket here, and I need to connect that to here somehow, like so. So I will go dig through the scrap pile, see what we can find. Alright, so what I've come up with is a piece of angle iron. I'll go trim it better to size. Just something either like that, thinking like this. I'll weld this bracket flush with this other side. I'll weld it on there like that. Cut everything off that we don't need so it looks a little better. But I think that should be the ticket. Alright, well I don't know how easy that is to see, but we got that. This linkage, I don't know, it's supposedly adjustable, but this is what came off of the transmission that was in the truck. Maybe if we go like that, see if we can adjust this bolt, make it a little longer. Give me a minute, I'll be right back. Alright, we got that bracket piece all welded up and situated. We had to lengthen this rod just a little bit. We had to trim this grommet down. This is a rubber grommet. The other transmission is just a metal, just a complete metal thing with a hole just right for that. But that I think should work, but it's a little sloppy. We got to go get some bushings, but we'll see if it shifts. So we're in park. This is kind of, I'm gonna have to figure that out later, but it's hard to hear. But we've got reverse, got neutral, drive, second, and first. There's park. Should be reverse, neutral, drive, first, or second, and first. Perfect. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But I think for what that is and what we need it to do, that should work pretty dang good. So our next dilemma is going to be the TV cable. This end is all like it should be, and this is the TV cable for the 12 valve and the automatic. But the bottom end, we don't have the little square-ended bracket hold thing to hold the housing down there. So I'm gonna talk to some buddies, see if I can either find somebody that has a 1990 Dodge with an automatic, Cummins and everything, so I can measure where it needs to be, or I might have a buddy that has the bracket. He might have done a manual swap. So let me talk to some people, we'll figure that one out. That's probably it for this one. I was worried about that valve body, getting that all back together and back up in there, but it wasn't too terrible. And we got that shift linkage, I think it's gonna be pretty good. We'll have to get that steering column all solided up, but that should be it for now. So you better follow this one along, subscribe and like and comment and all that YouTube jazz if you haven't already. So we'll see you in the next one.